Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2753. Ding! Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, Robin Fox, and my cock. Montgomery! All right, in the men's room. On tap today, the random question is back. Your guess is as good as mine. Category is murder and people. The word has the least most popular names in American history. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, a men's room shout of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack.
Drinking to drunk. All right, here we go. Women's marches set records coast to coast, except in Maine, where they threw a T-Rex party. Philadelphia police greased light poles to prevent climbers after the celebration, but that didn't stop a guy named Marty. Russian police search man's home, go to the basement, and find a crocodile living there. Delta changes rules so you won't be flying with a monkey, spider, or hare. And big volcano on Philippines about to blow. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours, all right? In the BDSM, that would be the bondage, domination, sadomasochism community, safe words are a very, very important thing. You need to let someone know when maybe they've gone too far. So, with that in mind, a company recently did a survey of those in the BDSM world to find out what their safe word is. What's the most commonly used safe word? And overwhelmingly, that safe word is Donald Trump. Now, maybe you support him, maybe you don't, but both sides agree that picturing him instantly kills your sex drive. Both sides agreed, like, hey, man, trust me, you want to kill the mood, bring things down a bit, say his name. And in spite of how grotesque a vision he might be, by far the biggest turnoff for men, just in general, the biggest turnoff for men is being aware that someone's having sex with you for the specific purpose of getting pregnant. All right, so once you say, hey, I want to have a baby, that's great. But if you bring it up every time you have sex, just understand the sex drive goes away. Look, they did the survey to put this into perspective for you. Telling a guy that you're having sex with him specifically to conceive is more of a mood killer than erectile dysfunction. Soak that in for just a moment or two. But look, there's lots of things that can be not sexy. All you got to do is say bloody diarrhea. Well, a guy in California, he was suffering from bloody diarrhea. Naturally, he was not feeling particularly sexual, but the good news is he got to the root of the problem when he pulled a 5.5-foot tapeworm from his rectum. Oh. He pulled it out himself. Anyone feel like having sex? Didn't think so. But these are some of the stories we saw that inspired many questions we'd like to ask you in the form of the random question. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we'll share with you the story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show on the random question. Call 844-999-OLA. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Oh, the show is and away we go. Welcome to show number 2753. What a large and charged program do we have for you today? Your guess is as good as mine. As back in the categories today will be people and populations around the world and the rate of murder here in the United States. So your guess is as good as mine on the way. And the word is going back to some old-time names. The Social Security Administration, they've done a running check on names in our country since the late 1800s.
So names like Ephraim.
So, but the problem is the population has increased so much that when you go for a limited number of the least popular names, you go back to this era based on the fact that none of these names are popular. They did not continue to be popular. And at the time, they were not popular either, but there were still 1,000 people in the United States named Myrtle or whatever it could possibly be. It's a ridiculous list.
Gertrude, Myrtle.
They are unbelievable. You could not believe an orange could marry key lime, for an example, back in the 1800s. You could honestly have a man named Orange and a woman named Key Lime, and they could get married.
Is this an example off the list?
It is an example off the list.
Damn. Wait a minute. So a dude's name is Orange.
Orange.
And he met a woman
It's
whose
feasible
name is
based on the number of the name. Okay, for an example, 1902, one of the least most popular names was Rolla for a man. Rolla for a man. One of the least most popular names for a female was Bama.
So Rollabama?
Rollabama. You could have a Rollabama. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I don't want to get married to no Bama.
In 1894, you could have had a husband named Flim and a wife named Ova.
Oh, Flimova.
Flimova. Trust me, it's disturbing on the least popular name.
Flim?
Yes, Flim. There were 1,000 people. And just
why would you ever think? I don't care when it is. If the word phlegm itself exists,
because I don't think it's the same thing.
Do you think the word phlegm, as we know phlegm existed then, man?
Phlegm is F-L-E-M, the name version.
I'm going to name my kid Butthole, but it's with one T. But, like, it doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it better.
I think they probably called it a loogie or something. Like, there's no loogies back then. There's no
Luigi.
There's no snot. You know
right.
What I mean? But
maybe there was no phlegm.
They just missed phlegm.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way the word phlegm existed at a time when someone named their child.
It was a
phlegm.
popular name. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So,
what up, phlegm?
Coming up with the word, we've got the least popular names in American history. Yes, we'll drink a toast to shot of the day profile. This is coming up. And today is the day we do our random question. Question 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Eric. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. How you doing today, Eric?
Good. Just want to say you guys' show is awesome. You guys help my commute be a lot easier.
Well,
you
thank
know,
you, man.
I appreciate the words, but there was a complete lack of enthusiasm when you said it. Like, I felt like you're almost making fun of it. Hey, thanks for what you do, man.
All right, this might be kind of a tough one based on the level of disturbingness in nature, but what disturbing thing did you find out about someone else you never maybe knew?
Let's see here. Back when I was in A school in the Navy, there's a guy that we saw around the barracks, and he was always kind of an interesting character. He wore one of those, like, floppy safari hats with, like, his short shorts, running shoes, that kind of guy. And he always kind of kept to himself. And one day I noticed that he was always carrying around a drawing pad. He was always drawing. And I went to graphic design school myself, so I'm into art. And I was like, oh, hey dude, what are you drawing? And he shows me a picture, and evidently his thing that he wanted to draw was dragon erotica.
Dragon erotica?
Dragons with females nude, doing stuff with dragons.
Well, all right, man.
I
tuned into Game of Thrones.
Was it two dragons having sex, or was it a dragon that looked like a woman having sex with a human?
No, male dragons with actual female humans.
Oh, with an actual female human. Oh, all right.
So, male dragon, I just want to make sure I get this right before I airbrush it on the side of my Dodge van. Male dragons having sex with women.
Yep, and I said, okay, it makes sense that you keep to yourself. Have a good one. And I just walked away.
Okay. Were they good drawings?
Oh, he was an excellent artist.
I was going to say, and then he illustrated heavy metal. I
Yeah.
mean, like, who is this guy? Maybe he tamed down his.
I mean, there's a world where I could see my man making money. I don't know why he wouldn't pursue that.
It seems like now you could make money off of that.
Now?
There would be some
Anytime.
weird.
But is there a market for dragons having sex with women?
I think so.
Of course, look, man.
I bet. You know what? I
And
bet.
it could just be his weird fetish.
Worldwide.
Along with tentacle porn.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
that's what I'm
tentacle
saying.
porn. There's a deep. I guarantee, man. Just and like you said, the old magazine Heavy Metal. I don't even know if it's still out, but they put out a movie. All this stuff. But there's a ton of artists that contributed to this magazine, and these tons of artists did stuff that doesn't sound much different than what floppy hat, short tennis shoe guys.
There's a fetish where you lay underneath a glass coffee table and someone does something up above you while you watch. I mean,
dragons having sex with people, I'm saying that's a moneymaker. If you can draw a dragon.
Specific.
Yes.
Well, maybe it's not for you,
I bet
man.
there's
Look,
a fetish where people
I don't
want to
like
have
puffy
sex
nipples, but guess what? They got their own thumbnail.
I knew a guy that liked dragons, and we saw a movie about a dragon, and the dragon died.
Oh, no.
And he cried.
No, didn't.
he didn't.
Yeah, what's that movie called? Dragonheart?
Was,
Spoiler alert, the dragon dies.
Huh.
But he cried.
Was this an adult?
Yeah, he was like in his mid-20s. I kind of wish I had never known he was going to cry at that movie.
Okay,
He would love
You
this
don't
guy's
think he would
art.
like that?
He would not be into this guy's
Well, he
stuff.
was into dragons, but I don't know that he never mentioned dragons having sex with women.
For the same reason this guy didn't show his drawings.
look,
but I bet you if he introduced the guy that cried in Dragon's Heart?
Dragonheart.
Dragonheart, and introduced him to floppy hat, short tennis shoe guy drawing the dragons, I bet you
Time out.
they'd be Facebook buddies quick.
The game is not called Wizards and Dragons. The game is called Dungeons and Dragons.
Sure.
Maybe we're just missing it. Maybe it's just right there in
It's
front of you,
obvious.
and no one has even
But that's where
thought
dragons
about it.
live, too.
Where?
Dungeons.
They don't live in dungeons. They live in freaking caves or something.
And like in the side of a
Isn't
mountain.
that
They live like we're in
a
a
mountain dungeon?
A volcano. You know
What,
what I mean?
a cave?
They live in
Yeah.
the side of a volcano or something.
I don't think dragons. And look, honestly, I don't know a lot. I just don't think the dragons live in dungeons. Like, nobody ever wants to go to a dungeon, but if you said, oh, by the way, it's where Ted the Dragon lives, that's even scarier, man.
Well,
I just assume they're living in dungeons.
I'm just trying to picture what position they're in.
Oh, dragon? What's the dragon position?
Dragon style.
What's what I'm saying? What is dragon style?
So let's say he's got a tail and he's got wings. He's got two little arms and two
He's got
big
a
back
big-
legs.
He's
all
got a
right?
big ass forked tongue.
Where are his wings?
See, I think the forked tongue works to his disadvantage because the principal point is the farthest back in the tongue. You see what I'm saying?
No, but it's good for her, not for him. But the tail?
Maybe. All
The
right.
tail?
Reason-
What would you do if you had a tail? Just picture yourself, right? This woman says, I'm so attracted to you because you have a tail.
What would I do with
What are you
the
doing
tail?
with it first? I know what I'm doing.
I don't know if I can say it,
Absolutely.
but, right, it's
yeah.
Okay,
You can't
all right,
say
all
that.
right, all right.
But that's what I'd be doing.
Reason we asked what disturbing thing, man, it's getting off disturbing. Did you find out about someone, 71-year-old Gerald Uden and 74-year-old Alice Louise Uden, married couple who live in a rural area outside of Springfield, Missouri, and their neighbors were just said they were a sweet, quiet, loving, elderly couple, which is why it was a pretty major shock when they were both arrested for separate murders. In 1975, Alice was 36 and she was living in Wyoming and allegedly shot her husband in the back of the head and dumped his body in an abandoned gold mine.
Oh, nothing like love.
5 years later, in 1980, when Gerald was 38, he was also living in Wyoming and allegedly killed his wife and their 10 and 12-year-old children. Now, it's not clear how Alice and Gerald wound up with each other or how they
Probably a
managed to
website.
disappear to Missouri for 3 decades. But
Like murderlove.com, murder mates. you
both
know?
of their cases had gone cold. Both had been suspects in their spouses' murders. Allison's husband's body was just found, though, and when the police tracked her down and questioned her, she ended up admitting to the murder. And that also led them to Gerald and led them to reopen his case and charge him with murder. So now both Alice and Gerald, the sweet, quiet, elderly couple down the road, will be extradited from Missouri back to Wyoming and face murder charges.
We have some dragon info.
Okay.
Coming up. Well, it's very important stuff, all right? So listen, the guy called someone he knew liked to draw dragon erotica, specifically male dragons, having sex with female women. All
Okay.
right? And
This
we're
is
wondering-
probably some big thing now, right?
Well, look, I don't know. I'm just going to read you what's coming in. And Miles, you brought up Dungeons and Dragons. This plays into Dungeons and Dragons and Ted. What you were saying, oh, where the hell is it?
I said I didn't think there was a huge market for it.
Well, there's that. The first thing is apparently if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, anything that is technically underground would be called a dungeon.
So no
Even
matter
if
what.
it's a
All right,
cave.
all right, you win.
So there you go. You got
Boom.
that.
Okay.
You got
All
that.
right,
You got
good,
that.
good,
All right,
good.
now hang on. Let's see.
Also a great family.
Danzig did a comic series just like what you were talking about. There are dragon sex toys, followed by there's a market. There's a whole website devoted to dragon-shaped sex toys. There's dragon erotica books on Amazon.com. Dragons live in a lair. The dragon with Sean Connery that died in Dragonheart.
Yes, that's the movie the dude cried at.
Yeah. Someone else says.
Could you believe it? Did you make fun of him?
So he was older than I was, right? It's my brother's friend. But I think in the theater I just legit said, Are you crying? Not trying to, but just like,
You're in
for
shock.
real, like you're crying.
Look. There have been all kinds of moments when I've been watching something and be like, no, I'm not crying. You know, trust me. I'm
But
not.
Dragonheart.
But Dragonheart.
Right?
That's the one.
Come on, man. Someone else cried at Dragonheart and says, look, I went to see Dragonheart and I cried. Now, what I left out is they pointed out they were also on acid.
Oh, all right.
All right.
They were on acid. There's a website that sells dragon-style marital aids, of course. Yeah, and then someone says, hey, man, there's a whole community for dragon porn.
Yeah, so on Twitter, this guy says, yes, there's a large market for dragon erotica.
Yeah.
It may or may not be paying the bills at my house.
Oh, no,
Okay.
maybe you're the guy that he met in the park.
Hey, man, look, whatever the case is, good for you.
Were you creeping around like a military operation there?
Dragon
Sometimes
porn.
when we talk about weird stuff like this, like fetishes, I'm like,
Apparently it's not that weird.
yeah, I think I'm just the plainest person in America.
I know.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just a safe bet to say it's got to be out there, but that doesn't make you plain.
No, it's not that.
I know, I just feel like when I watch porn, I just watch women with big boobs and stuff. Or I click on like blonde hair.
What if it was
and
a
then
big-
like people are like, I'm watching dragons have sex with women.
if it was a big-
Like, all right, dude, like
You got me.
you got me.
You have one up to me
Right.
officially.
Random.
How did you even come up with that? At what point in your childhood? What happened?
I don't know how
He
I'm
said,
going to get excited.
That's the good question. Like, you know what, man? You know what I miss most? I'm going to flip through all this porn, but I ended up dragons having sex with women.
If that turns me on, how am I going to have sex regularly? Unless I'm having sex with a dragon.
Well, no.
No,
'cause
you have to
want to
dress
be
as
the
the
dragon.
Oh, all right, okay.
You must be the dragon.
So I can dress
Danielson.
up like Barney, and then someone wants to have sex with him. He wasn't a dragon because he's a dinosaur.
Oh,
Do you want to have sex with the person who wants to have sex with Barney? That's
That
the problem.
is a we-
That's
that
the problem.
is
Like, I
weird.
want to have sex with you, except that you're willing to have sex with Barney. And that's a red flag right there.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he's not a dragon. He doesn't even spit fire.
He just keeps smiling at you. The whole time you're having sex, he's just smiling.
Which people do not like.
No. You just smile at him. Go ahead,
Yeah.
try it at home.
I have. It's brutal.
You just smiled at her the entire
She was very attractive. Caught me off guard.
Wait.
I kind of, I did not expect to be in that situation. She was like, stop smiling. Like, what? Oh, yeah. Stop looking at me.
Hello, Colby. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
Ah,
All right, Colby, let's see
That
here.
wasn't weird.
What do we got here on the random question? Oh, boy.
so back when I was in Korea, I figured out that the Korean people are kind of more friendly than Americans.
All right.
And so I was at a club down there one time, and I got invited into this like VIP kind of thing. And that was kind of one of my goals, was to go down there and see everything. And yeah, it ended up being a bunch of gay guys. And so I got out of there as fast as I could. I guess that's the best I can give you. It's not dragon erotica.
All right.
Whoa,
Well,
hey.
You know what?
Wait. What do you think we asked you?
What was that?
What do you think that we asked you? Like, what were you answering? What were you responding to?
The random question.
All right, okay. The question, when was the last time you had a chance to cuddle up and have a big hug with a really good-looking man?
Yeah, with a Korean bear.
Oh.
That one?
No.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
I thought for sure that's what he's
Yeah,
answering.
you know, I had a story about that.
Oh, the Korean
Actually, it was
bear.
a personal story.
yeah. Miles was to go back
It wasn't
in time.
even in the news. It's just what happened one weekend back in the day. I'm not sure.
Can they be Cambodian, or does it have to be Korean?
You know what? I think any man that is good looking and you find in the comfort of your arms is just fine with me. But thank you, Colby. I think you should have stayed, to be honest with you. I think you would have really opened your eyes a bit.
What do you think he was talking about?
I think he was talking
Was
about
it
the time
dragon porn thing? I mean, like,
Yeah, he was just saying, hey, I got a weird story too.
that he stumbled into
Right.
a gay discotheque. And, yeah. Well, I can tell you this. If you, from personal experience, and Ted, I think you can agree with this, if you're ever in the Washington, D.C. area and you go to a bar where you have to go down a set of steps to get down underneath the place,
Yeah, basement bars.
you're probably going to be in a gay bar. So when he said, I'm going down the
on the East Coast for sure. Yeah.
See, I don't think so. There's just so many of those bars.
Okay, well, though, it seems
I
like...
felt like it's either a punk rock bar or a gay bar.
yeah.
Either way,
If
it
you're
seemed like you
going
went down
down
the
steps
stairs.
and there's this
I'm going to
huge
see
room that you-
Fugazi or I'm going to see
Right.
penis.
And you
The
can-
main thing is you got to just look for windows.
Okay. Well, this
Seriously, if it doesn't have windows, because like, that might not be as much anymore, but back in the day, most gay bars didn't have windows.
My thing was when you walked in there, like, I cannot believe this place is in here. You walk by the street and you walk in, you're like, you'd have no idea that there are 1,000 people
right
half
here.
naked with the speakers blasting that you can't even hear when you walk by until you walk up to the door. And you're like, oh my God, like, this is insane.
You don't know what you don't know.
You accidentally walked into one of those places.
Accident.
Walked down the steps.
Actually, he looked his Uber driver in the eye in the rearview mirror.
I was just going to ask him, what did he forget? You know what I mean? That was going to be the question.
I just don't know what he's answering. It wasn't a bad story.
I'll save that one. Yeah, it sounds like a great
But
night.
he just went into it, man.
Random question. Still to come. Your guess is as good as mine. The categories coming up will be murder across the United States and the population, people around the world. And yes, our random question. 844-999. Ola, more of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
All right, still to come. The word has the least popular names in American history. Right before we drink a toast with a shot of the day. In the meantime, it is our random question. 844-999. Ola.
Hello, Jeanette. Welcome to the Men's Room. Hello, Jeanette.
Put her on hold, try again.
Hello, Andy. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Oh, let's see here. Andy, what do we have for you? Random question-wise. Let's go with this one. Andy, what is the strangest thing that you have eaten other than a Tide Pod? It could be food. It could be something that you ate on a dare, a bet. It could be an exotic food. What is the strangest thing that you would say that you've eaten?
When we were in South America, we had to eat a soup that was basically nothing but the gizzards of a cow. I mean, it was nothing but the guts of the cow in the soup.
Did that flavor it pretty decently? Was it a good stock?
Yeah, no, it was good.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good.
Now, did you think it was going to be good leading up to the time you're about to eat this?
No, I thought it was going to be disgusting, but I was hungry enough that I really didn't care, so I was going to eat it.
Well, if you're going to take the crap of any animal and boil it in water and make soup, that's traditionally what soup ends up being anyway.
Well, sure. But you don't know that, though. When you go somewhere else, you know what I mean? Like, look, if you go to England, would you like some pudding? Kids always say no. If you're in England, ask if you want pudding. Believe me, you want to say no. Now, where were you in South America that was a meal? Like, I've been to other countries, but I'm generally at a hotel, so like, what'd you eat? A burger. So why were you eating this?
We were at a bus station in Ecuador.
A bus station in Ecuador. So you're living in a high life at this point.
Isn't that like eating sushi at the gas station? Like, hey, man, we're going to an Ecuadorian bus stop. Do you want some soup? I would have to say no.
It was like a 9-hour ride. We just stopped there, but we had to catch a bus in like an hour, so we didn't want to leave, and then ended up missing the bus, so we had to eat what they offered, and that's what they offered.
And where were you headed to?
We were heading through the Peru, so that was going to be our bus that was going to carry us into Peru.
So that's 8 hours from there. And then what was your ultimate destination? Was it Peru?
Yeah, Lima.
Okay. And how was the food in Lima?
There's just a lot of cocaine, not too much food.
So you don't really eat a lot. You just snort lots of cocaine.
Yeah.
Is that why you were there? Were you on a I know they have like the whiskey highway or whatever they do in Kentucky or whatever they do, the Bourbon Trail. Did you do the Coke highway down there? Or what?
No. It was just I got lucky enough, and my mom sent me and my brother down there for 3 months, and then in Ecuador it was just fine. There was no drugs, barely drinking. Then as soon as you cross into Peru, it's just party on.
So your mom basically sent you and your brother on a cocaine-fueled South American vacation.
Yeah, she doesn't know too much about the cocaine, though.
Well, of course.
Yeah, you leave that part out.
How long ago was this?
What's that?
How long ago was this?
10 years ago.
All right. Do you think you and your brother are ever going to share with her? You know, maybe another 10 years from now, like, hey, Mom, look, we know this was not your point, and you don't know this, but...
Oh, yeah, no, it came out. It's come out. She already knows.
Okay, why were you supposed to be there in her mind? You know, like, what were you there doing?
My cousin was down there. He was by himself. He just got robbed, so they wanted to send people down there with him, so he wasn't by himself anymore.
Oh, that's nice.
And
just
put
you up inside the friendly fire. You know?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Hey, but good time all together? Would you ever go back?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'd love to go back.
Okay. Interesting.
Now, do you want to go back because you like South America or go back for the cocaine?
If I was in Peru, it'd be for the cocaine. Ecuador, the women, man. That's what's in Ecuador.
So basically you had women in one country and then cocaine in the other country.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. I've never been on
those tough times.
I've never been on one of these vacations that you speak of.
Nothing like
that at all. Look, I've been to Disneyland. I admit it. It was a good time. I really
Maybe they
enjoyed
should
it.
call themselves the second happiest
Sometimes
place on
the
earth.
lines got a little long. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I was having a great time. I thought this is a good vacation. You know,
I'll take this guy's trip.
Kids like it seems to.
I'm going with him.
Oh, let's see. What is the strangest thing that you've eaten other than a Tide Pod? We'll let you know the story coming up here in a couple seconds.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.